Welcome to today's motivational interviewing tip on using amplified and understated reflections. We've been exploring all of the various types of reflections we can use in our MI vocabulary. Quick reminder, why are we so obsessed with reflections? Well, reflections convey deep listening to the person we're coaching. They are a shining star amongst our MI tools. Remember ORs, open-ended questions, affirmations, reflections, and summary. They make up the bulk of a motivational interviewing conversation. You'll hear many more reflections than questions. And they can gently guide the conversation towards change talk. And why do we want to encourage more change talk from the person we're coaching? Because of the 40 years plus of research demonstrating that the more a person is talking about change, the more likely they are to follow through with it. As the newest 4th edition of motivational interviewing makes clear, if you're not cultivating change talk, you're not practicing MI. Reflections are the way that we're able to hold up a mirror with our communication. Our reflection statement is purely about the person that we are coaching and should have nothing to do with ourselves and how we feel about what the person we're coaching is sharing with us. So that's why reflections don't include I. It's not about me. It's all about you. No I statements. And what we're talking about is being in equipoise. And I will share a tip just focused on that in the future because that's a big topic. However, this is where it gets tricky. I mean, we want to reflect back in a way that is going to best support the growth and change process for the person that we're working with. And we want to always be maintaining the spirit of MI, showing up in partnership, acceptance, compassion, and supporting our client to feel empowered. And yes, you guessed it, we'll have tips on each one of those coming soon. So back to reflections. With our amplified and understated reflections, we're still holding up the mirror. It's just slightly bent. So an amplified reflection adds intensity to the content or emotion that was expressed. I like to think of an amplified reflection like those classic funhouse mirrors. You can look at yourself in one of those and laugh because of the exaggerated distortion. An amplified reflection is a bit like a quick reality check and can be a great tool for softening sustained talk and helping a person to realize that maybe they're being a bit too rigid with their thinking process. However, your tone is going to be extra important here. Even though you're holding up the funhouse mirror, you've got to be sincere rather than ironic. So imagine your client shares the following. No matter how hard I try, I just can't lose weight. An amplified reflection could be, when you think about your eating and exercise habits, you're doing absolutely everything that you know is healthiest for you 100% of the time without fail, day in and day out. Hopefully, your client will think on that for a moment and realize that there's no such thing as 100% perfection. Most likely, they're going to come back with something like, well, I could probably do some different type of exercise, and I have been buying ice cream a lot more frequently. Sometimes it backfires. The person isn't laughing when they see that funhouse mirror. So be prepared for them to potentially come back and say, yes, I have been. In which case you'd have to just, offer them more empathy around how difficult things have been, potentially revisit the reasons for wanting to lose weight in the first place and maybe explore in greater detail what they've been doing, perhaps offering some suggestions for variations. Let's look at yet another perspective from which to offer our reflection, the understated reflection. An understated reflection diminishes the intensity of the content or emotion expressed. Why might we want to do that? Well, I've used this at times in an attempt to infuse some hope into the equation. Your client says, I'm never going to be able to get this weight off. You reply with, you feel like this will be a difficult journey. So we've just shifted impossible to difficult. I've also used this when my client has a lot of negative self-talk. For example, I hate my body at this weight. I hate that I'd let myself get this big again. There's a part of you that feels pretty disappointed. So we've shifted hate to disappointment and opened up the possibility that another part feels a different way. So which perspective will you choose? I hope that I was able to demonstrate how there are a myriad of ways that we can reflect what's happening. There's never just one perspective. What are you going to choose to shine the light on? This week, notice how you're using amplified and understated reflections in your practice. As usual, I'd love to hear from you. Please share your reflections and how they landed in the chat. And here's a bit of practice for you if you'd like to play along. Create an amplified reflection for the following. With this knee injury, I just can't exercise. And you can create an understated reflection for this one. I can't stand to see myself in pictures or in the mirror. I'm disgusted with myself. Looking forward to hear what you come up with. Have a wonderful week and see you next time.